everything that she told the police that had meaning, that had significance, that put everything in context, is independently corroborated by the facts. Because when she told the police it was an unintentional discharge, that she did not mean for that gun to go off, she was telling the truth. And they made a big deal about her positioning. Now, you listen to the statement of Laura. Does she say where on the bed she's seated? They don't say, they can't even say, okay, can you draw a diagram for us? Can you tell us if the bed, you're on your side, okay, look this side? They don't say you're closer to the foot of the bed, the middle of the bed, the back, nothing. But they want you to somehow believe that, because she says, when he's trying to demonstrate, go back maybe a little bit, maybe 5-6 feet back or something like that, that somehow they're going to hang on her every word, that there's some exact science to this. Yet they don't even have they have the audacity to suggest that. They don't even measure. They don't even give you a diagram of the room with the measurements. They don't tell you how far the bed is from the wall. They don't tell you how far the bed is to the dresser or the bed to the closet. They tell you none of this. They tell you absolutely none of this, but they want to somehow have a microscope on her every word about the angle. The angle, you're going to hear from a forensic pathologist that the angle of the bullet path means she's lying. How? And by the way, your head's on a swivel. You have a slight downward. You can be this position, and nobody actually seats standing up. You hunch your back over a little bit, you're a little heavy set, over a little more. She could be in 100 different positions at the time that she got shot. I mean, reasonable doubt existing in your minds that Laura Bluestein intended to hurt anyone. So, which brings me to doubt number 6. The real part. The real heart of this case. And that is the unintentional discharge. Laura told him it was an accident, it was a freak accident, it was horrible. Actually, let's see. Okay, then what happened? Then that's when I, unintelligible, and clicked it up, because she'd had problems with it, and I'm looking at the scope, and then like I said, I'm not used to guns that don't have things, and the next thing I know, she's gushing out. She's gushing out of her eye, and I have never seen anything like that in my life, in the person that I love, because I might have pulled the trigger. That was page 15, page 51. Okay, so she's sitting over there, you're loading the gun, and he goes back at her over and over and over again, trying to get her to change her story, and alter her story, and give her false facts about her story. And what does she say? And like I said, when I'm looking at it, and I feel the weight difference, and BAM! The next thing I know, she's fucking bleeding out of her fucking eye. That's what she told her. Have they proven to you, beyond a reasonable doubt, to the contrary? Have they done that with this case and this evidence? Beyond a reasonable doubt, where is the evidence that that is not true? And it's not our job to convince you that that's true beyond a reasonable doubt. It's their job to convince you beyond a reasonable doubt to the contrary. Now, Detective Lloyd. Another thing I said to you in my opening, I don't want to tell you too much. I did tell you that we'll have a couple of aha moments. Oh boy, I didn't expect this one. So, you have Detective Lloyd, who's their big crime scene investigator. His job to investigate the scene, collect the evidence, make a determination what should go to the lab, what shouldn't go to the lab, right? Goes to direct examination, describes everything that he saw, found a gun, had a casing, had a bullet, had this, had that, and he said, damn. State had the same police report from Detective Lloyd that I had. State prepped him, what, 2, 3, 4 times before he testified? Yeah. What did you learn through my cross-examination? When Detective Lloyd arrived at the scene and he saw the firearm, he made an opinion and an assessment that it was indicative of a malfunction. Indicative of a malfunction. Didn't hear that on direct examination. Got to ask yourself why. Why would the prosecutor be interested in you hearing all of the facts, the whole story, warts and all? Why did they tell you that? So then, it was indicative of malfunction because the casing is in the chamber, and the next bullet to load has a defect. Then we heard from Dr. Hook. So what you also learn from Dr. Hood on my cross-examination is that there's no exit wound. Okay, they showed you a picture. Remember, the first day we saw, body came in, poor Felicia laying there, bloody word. Then they showed you all these crime scene photos, all of which mean nothing, I suggest to you. It's just a shock and awe value, so it gets you all riled up to like want to do justice in this case or something. I don't know. But that's certainly not evidence as to what really happened there. And then you have to ask yourselves the next day, the very first question, oh, detective, he puts a picture of back and forth from Felicia's head, with blood in the back, and oh, when I was showing you this yesterday, detective, there was a little glare on the screen. Oh, good morning, everyone, here's the bloody head. I mean, come on, there's a reason. There's a reason why they showed you all those stories. It's because they have no evidence. They're trying to make it seem like they have evidence. They're trying to tug on your heartstrings with this poor woman. Trust me. Laura mourns her every day. And so does Laura's family. Every day. But what we hear from Dr. Bird through my examination, despite the fact that they're suggesting to you there was an exit wound, we showed you the bloody head, there wasn't an exit wound. And why is that important? Because in the exterior of the head was a bullet fragment. Exterior, not inside. Bullet goes into the body, breaks up inside the body, and rests on the spinal cord, causing instantaneous death. Yet, not in the body, it's a bullet fragment. And on my cross-examination of Dr. Hood, what did he tell you? He told you that it's indicative of a defective bullet. So now we have Detective Lloyd telling us there's a defective bullet inside the gun, and a defective casing that didn't get ejected. And now we have Dr. Hood telling you the bullet that came from the casing that's still in the gun can be indicative of being defective. These are their witnesses. How'd you hear that on cross? And by the way, Dr. Hood did not say it's indicative of hitting flesh. I guess a light bulb must have went on and put on the gentleman from the ballistics, Mr. Smith, yesterday, the day before, was in transportation. And would a bullet break up upon hitting flesh? He's not a forensic pathologist. Dr. Hood is. Dr. Hood is. Okay. And he tells you that a portion of a bullet on the exterior can be indicative of, not indicative of hitting flesh. So what we learned through this testimony is that that gun that bullet came out of and landed in Felicia's head and killed her. That gun failed in 3 material ways that day. It failed to extract the shell casing, it failed to eject the spent shell casing, and it failed to load a fresh one. It failed in how it was designed to work. It did not work that day. Then we learned about the ammunition through a couple of the witnesses. Independence. No one checked the ammunition. Not one person tested the ammunition. Not one person used the ammunition except the guy from this purported panel test, which we'll talk about. Not one person even knew enough to look at the ammunition to see maybe the ammo is effective. And we also learned that it's a cheaper version. So I don't want to say cheaper or lower quality. I'll just say more economical, he said. Okay. And then you learn through my cross-examination of every single witness, unintentional discharges are very, very common during the loading process. Exactly what Laura said happens hundreds, if not thousands of times throughout the country, if not the world. It happens with civilians. It happens with trained marksmen. In fact, you heard about the clearing barrels. You remember what a clearing barrel is? When a cop has a gun and he's going to, let's say, a jail that he can't bring his gun in, to unload it, they put it in a barrel with sand to catch an unintentional discharge so no one gets hurt. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. And what did Lloyd tell us? He gave us this little thing he does when he finds a firearm. He calls it clear, safe, and empty. He makes sure the firearm is clear, safe, and empty before he takes pictures. And why did he say it's very interesting? The court reporter read it back to me before I crossed him the next day. He said, to prevent the gun from going off while he's taking a picture. So the gun can discharge while the man is just taking a picture without pulling the trigger, and he wants to prevent that from happening? I mean, everyone is telling you that this happens. But all of a sudden, Laura Bluestein, because she freaked out, panicked, went to Lowe's and made a half-hearted effort to just, who knows what, no one believes her. It's okay for the cops to do it, but not her. And it's common. It's common when people are not taking medication. It's commonplace when people are not taking muscle relaxers, Xanax, Lexapro, methadone, medical marijuana. Imagine putting that into the equation. Laura told the police officer that she has one good eye. It's one eye. With one eye, she's impaired judgment and medication. And the last fact I suggest to you that supports an unintentional discharge here is that there's only one shot. There's only one shot. Doubt, reasonable doubt, existing in your mind that Laura caused, under the law, causation, the death of Felicia. Must not be too accidental in its occurrence. Doubt number 7. What I call Laura's efforts to explain the unexplainable, because it really is unexplainable. You have a gun in your hand. And as she told the police, and she told Detective LaRosa, she's loading it, she's looking at it, and the next thing you know, and she has absolutely no idea why it went off. She speculates, maybe I pulled the trigger, possibly I pulled the trigger. What her words were. I've never seen anything like that in my life, and the person that I love, because I might have squeezed the trigger. She doesn't even know. She doesn't even know. She's trying to make sense of this horrible, horrible situation. She's an emotional wreck and she's distraught. What did you learn about the 48-hour rule? Remember we asked the detective about the 48-hour rule? So here's the story.
So if you're a police officer, right, and you're involved in a fatal shooting, okay, you're not questioned immediately while you're under the stress and trauma of the shooting, knowing that you killed someone. You're not questioned an hour later. You're not questioned 5 hours later. You're questioned 48 hours later. So the trauma of the event, so your ability to recall and remember accurately is increased. You have one sleep cycle to help you recollect and remember better. They didn't afford Laura Bluestein that privilege. They afford police officers that privilege because they want to get accurate and reliable information from police officers when they shoot someone. But when a civilian who's not even used to or expecting this to ever happen in the course of their entire life, they bam, go right after them and start questioning them and questioning them and questioning them and hang on to every word, knowing that the teachings tell them if you're involved in a fatal shooting, it affects your memory, it affects your recall, it affects your ability to explain. But no, they asked her. And she tried over and over again to explain. She did her best. And she said she might have pulled the trigger. She even demonstrates at one point, pointing. Does she even know if she was pointing? She's speculating. She has no idea. All she knows is she had a gun in her hand, and the next thing you know, Felicia is dead. That's all she knows. Excuse me. And she didn't watch it go off. Her focus is on the gun. She said she was looking at it. And the next thing you know, it went off. So, guns go off during the loading process. We know that. We know that. We were told that. We were taught that. How do we know that just didn't happen here? That all of those questions Laura trying to explain, and them trying to demonstrate, and go back here, or point your hand here, or do this here. Really, when it boils down to, this is what happened. I'm looking at the scope. I'm not used to guns that don't have things. The next thing I know, she's gushing out. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. I'm looking at it, I feel the weight difference, and bam, the next thing I know, she's fucking out. Sam, that's what happened. And no matter how many times they went back at her to try to explain, well, where were you seated? Where did this happen? And how did this happen? She looked a little effed up to you on the screen. She did to me. She was freaked out. She was under the influence of at least marijuana. Prescribed muscle relaxers. What doctor prescribes muscle relaxers? Xanax, Medford, all of it. Who does that? Doubt. Reasonable doubt. Let's see the name. So, let's talk for a second about why she was loading the gun. She said she was loading the gun for Felicia, that it was Felicia's gun. And she had trouble loading the gun. And as we talked about before, the manual leaves out that part. So, it's independently supported by the facts that you know it. What you learn from the text message, at one point, I think it's 11:52, meet my wife out back. Okay? Supposedly, Laura's texting somebody, meet my wife out back. So, Felicia's going out back. What you also learn through my cross-examination, bringing out other text messages through the course of the entire extraction, that was a common occurrence over the last year or so. Meet my wife out back. Meet my wife out back. Apparently they had like a little youth visits going on. And Felicia would meet the customers out back. Like, that wasn't clear, I don't know what it was. You saw the weed in the house? You saw those meeting at out back? Well, you also learn that there were people coming to the house, about 8 people throughout the course of the day. They were expecting company, so to speak. They were expecting people. So, if you take all those facts, this is their normal, this is their lifestyle, this is what was going on, that's a reason to be loading the gun, I suggest to you. That's what I mean about taking things out of context. Oh, she was loading the gun in the middle of the day because she just wanted to get it ready. Is it a little awkward, perhaps, to tell the police officer, yeah, Detective Rose, you see, me and Felicia had this little weed business going on. I would get the marijuana from the dispensary because I had a marijuana card, and we'd sell it for a profit because we were sick, and that's how we supported ourselves. A little awkward to tell the cops that. So, that's why this is Now let's talk about this wonderful firearm that caused the death of Felicia. They brought some guy up here, David Williams, the head gunsmith from Springfield. The head gunsmith from Springfield. He came up here for free to defend his gun. Isn't that great? For free to defend his gun. He didn't care about them, he didn't care about her, he didn't care about Felicia, he cared about defending his gun to make sure that he was testifying that his gun was safe, malfunctioning properly. Well, the only problem with that is the prosecution withheld critical information from the gentleman when they gave him the gun to examine. They never told him that his gun, that he was so proud that he designed, actually malfunctioned on that day in 3 material ways. That it failed to extract the shell casing, it failed to eject the shell casing, and it failed to load a fresh one. Okay? They did tell him that. He had no idea. Okay? They withheld that from him. They also told him that it was an entirely different ammunition. So he's using some entirely different ammunition to test his gun to tell you that it was functioning properly. No one told him it was independence. Okay? So, moving on from there, what did he tell you about safety? The sole purpose of safeties on firearms, the sole purpose of safeties, is to prevent accidental discharges. Because they have. That's the sole purpose of safeties. And you learn that there's 2 different types of safeties, right? There's an active safety, which is what the Ruger had. You actively push a button up with your finger. And then there's a passive safety, what the XDN had. Passive meaning just in the course of holding the gun and pulling the trigger, the safeties come on. Now, the grip safety. Again, an aha moment I would suggest, because it came after my question. Did my homework. I don't know how you put somebody in that chair, prosecute them for life, imprisonment perhaps, for murder, and you don't do your homework. What did you learn about the grip safety? You learned that you have to take it off to load it. That you have to press it in and take off a safety. The sole purpose of a safety is to protect you, so you're now unprotecting yourself during the most dangerous and vulnerable point of handling a firearm, and that is loading it. You have to actually remove it to load it. That's a safety? That is a safety? And then they come up here and they suggest to you, oh, there's no such thing as an accidental discharge with these XDNs because there's so many different internal safety mechanisms. How is the trigger safety a safety? Am I crazy? Am I just crazy? Okay, I put the gun in my hand, I pull the trigger, and the safety is released. How is that a safety? These passive safeties, they should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of themselves. This is no safety. I put the gun in my hand, I pull the trigger, and it goes off. How is that a safety? How does that protect people? And you don't put it in the manual? You don't put it in the manual that you produce, that you manufacture, that you write, that you send out? You don't tell people that you have to depress the grip safety, they've got to figure out for themselves as you're jimmying around with the gun trying to load it? Would you even dream of buying a new car with an airbag that you had to press the button as you're seeing an accident about to happen? Or I don't know, prescription medication bottle that you just twist off, they should not be allowed to manufacture these firearms the way they do and not put any warnings like that in their manuals. Do you know that Felicia would be lying today if they decided to wear the Gruber instead of the DSCN? Because the safety would have been up. Because it had an active safety. Yeah, reason with it. And what else did you learn from the cross-examination of this gentleman? By someone who apparently did her homework. Another aha moment. The XDS's sister firearm, the XDM's sister firearm, the XDS. They had a recall. There was a recall of the sister firearm. Why? Because the gun went off during the loading process. Exactly what Laura told the police happened. During the loading process, while she was loading it, it went off. Do you know what's involved with a manufacturer recall? Hundreds, thousands of firearms, how much money it must have cost them to recall every firearm made in the XDS line because it was going off unintentionally, unintendedly, without pulling the trigger. You know how much money they must have spent? And they already have a blemish, Springfield, because they had a recall. Could you imagine being a gun company and you had to recall a gun because it would go off when no one pulled the trigger? Do you think that they want the reputation of another gun? An XDM? XD Talk. It's a blog. I asked them about it. You familiar with it? Yeah. But it's surprising to learn that there's a whole forum on accidental discharges for XDMs. No, it wouldn't surprise me, he said. So it's okay for everyone else and their grandmother to be handling a firearm, to be loading a firearm, and it goes off. But it's not okay for Laura because she panicked and freaked afterwards. Is that fair? I don't know how many more witnesses have to tell me that this happens. Each and every way she said happened, it happened. And she tried to piece it together, to try to explain to them why it happened, but she couldn't, because you can't explain the unexplainable. Imagine having a firearm in your hand, and you're loading it, and the next thing you know, it goes off, and your wife is dead. No one is going to believe you. Because that just doesn't happen, we think. Because that just doesn't happen with me. I might have had my finger on the trigger. You know what? She might not have, for all we know, and for all we learned. She might not have. It's a heck of a coincidence that the XDS was recalled for the exact same thing Laura told the police happened. The exact same thing. Anybody see any investigation in this case? Because I didn't. I looked, and I looked. What did they do here? What did they do? Were they even concerned at all about testing what she told them? Are they even concerned at all as to getting to the bottom as to what really happened? What happened here? We heard that everyone we heard from wasn't the lead detective. The lead detective is a gentleman by the name of Reagan, Michael Reagan. What do you do? What did he do in this case? I don't know. Lead detective does nothing? I don't know. There is no fingerprint. fingerprints, no effort to fingerprint anything, no effort to do DNA, no effort to do a blood spatter analysis. You had a couple people come and tell us, oh yeah, I'm blood spatter analysis people. All right, I think Rakowski was his name, or Barbowski. He's a blood spatter guy. Did you do it in this case? Nah. Wouldn't you like to know that the blood spatter on the bottom portion of that mirror is consistent with Felicia sitting in front of it and being shot? And the spatter, they can tell the angle. Does it come from up? Does it come from down? How far away you were? Was your close? Was it? They can tell all the stuff. They can do a forensic analysis. Did they do that in this case? No. For goodness sake, they didn't even measure. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. He did a Farrow scan. What's a Farrow scan? Hundreds of photographs. He took hundreds of photographs, and somehow in secret squirrel stuff in this computer, if I chose to, I can hit print and I can tell you the measurements of this room that now all of a sudden are becoming so important to us 3 months ago. We'll talk about that. But no, they don't even bother to give you that in this trial. Here's the measurements of the room. They have access to that because it's in the Farrow scan. Well, nobody asked me to produce it. A crime scene detective doesn't measure, doesn't do a sketch, doesn't do anything, doesn't go in an attic, doesn't go in a basement, doesn't even go in a shed in the backyard. You know, their best detective work was from the information Laura gave them. That's their best detective work. Yeah, I got the ammunition. Look in the safe. Here's the safe. Yeah. Look in the behind the shed. I started to dig a little. They go right to behind the shed. Could you imagine if you're investigating what you believe to be a crime? There's this big ass shed outside, enclosed, all right? And they don't go in it. But you go behind it. Come on. They did no investigation. They didn't care. They didn't care. Felicia's dead. She was in the room. We're going to prosecute her for murder. That's the case that they give you. No effort. And they give you distorted photos. You didn't even know what the focal point was, the focal of the lens, the length of the lens, focal length, sorry. Focal length of the lens is, under 50, it's wide angle, over 50, telephoto angle, 50, it's perfect. Well, it's as you see it.